Hi everyone, my name's Lindsay. I am one of the nursery nurses in the health visiting team in Banff. And today we're going to talk about weaning. So we want you guys to be able to wean with confidence when it comes to weaning your baby. This wee chap looks like he's having a good fun. So what is weaning? So weaning is the gradual introduction of solid food into your baby's diet alongside their normal milk. Now in the first 6 months of baby's life, their normal milk, whether that's breast milk or formula milk, is all they need. Everything they need to grow and develop is in that milk. They don't need anything extra. So we recommend that you wait as near to 6 months as you can before weaning your baby. So there's lots of evidence that back this up, which is why it's now a recommendation. So the first one is that there's a much lower risk of baby choking, just because baby is much more physically ready and they're able to sit up and hold their head steady themselves. Also, weaning earlier than 6 months can increase the risk of baby developing other issues, so developing things like allergies, digestive problems, eczema, and even can lead to obesity in later life. So as well as these benefits, these health benefits for a baby, waiting until 6 months is also a lot easier for you guys. Once baby is 6 months, you don't need to puree. So if you start at 6 months, you can bypass the puree stage and you can just go on to the mashed foods. And also you don't need to sterilise any of your equipment, any of your plates and bowls and things like that. So as well as baby's age, there's also some signs of readiness that we need to look out for alongside thinking about how old baby is and how ready baby is. So before we start weaning, we are looking for baby to be able to stay in a sitting position and be able to hold their head up steady by themselves. So this is just to do with the choking aspect of it. If baby's neck and head and things are still quite floppy and we're putting solid food into their mouth, there's a higher risk of them choking if they kind of have a bit of a head bobble at that point. So we want baby to be able to stay sitting in a sitting position and hold their head up by themselves. We're also looking for baby to be able to reach out and grab things accurately and to take them back and put them in their mouth. So we want them to be able to see something, decide they want it, be able to reach for it accurately, grab it, bring it back and put it in their mouth. And obviously this would mimic feeding themselves. So that's the signs of readiness that we're looking out for. So some false signs of readiness. So some of these things might happen with your baby, or you've heard your friends say that they happen, but these are not necessarily things that mean that baby is ready to wean, in particular if they are before 6 months. So waking more through the night, this is just a developmental thing with your baby. Waking up at night does not mean that they are ready for solid food. Watching you and being interested in what you eat. So babies are interested in everything we do, not just when we're eating. They watch us all the time. They learn from us. So they're watching everything we do and they're interested in everything we do, but that doesn't mean that they are ready to move on to solid food. And also in general, your baby being particularly big or particularly petite doesn't mean that they're ready to wean. So you'll have you might have people saying, "Oh, what a big boy! Isn't he a big boy? Oh, he'll need food soon." That kind of things, or "Oh gosh, you need to feed them up a bit. They're a bit little." All these kind of things. They're not reasons to wean your baby early at all. And it's really important for you guys to know as parents, this is your baby, okay? So please ignore anyone else telling you advice. So, kind of you might have friends, family members, grannies, granddads, in-laws telling you that you need to wean early, or, kind of so-and-so weaned earlier and they're fine, all these kind of things. But no, I promise, everything your baby needs in those first 6 months comes from their milk. And 6 months is a very small portion of your child's life for them to be on milk. I promise they're not missing anything, and they've got the rest of their life to explore new foods. So if you do decide to wean before 6 months, there are some of the important things that you do need to know. So absolutely never ever before 17 weeks. This is highly dangerous for your baby, so never ever before 17 weeks. Ideally, we do want you to wait till 6 months, but if you want to do it before or feel that you need to do it before, then never ever before 17 weeks. Also, please do speak to your health visitor or a medical professional if you do want to do it before 6 months, just to make sure that you do understand the precautions that you need to take. And health visitors won't make you feel bad. Please don't hide it. Please do tell us. It's our job to make sure that you know the choice. It's an informed choice that you're making. Okay. So absolutely never before 17 weeks. All food must be pureed before 6 months. And there's a long list of foods that should be avoided. So essentially, the foods that they can have are fruit and vegetables, and that's it. So pureed fruit, pureed vegetables, and that's all they can have before 6 months. That's all we would recommend. Okay. And also, if you're weaning before 6 months, all equipment, so all utensils, bowls, plates, cutlery, all these kind of things must be sterilised. So they must be washed and sterilised before you use them to prepare baby's food or to serve baby's food. And any water given to baby at meal times must be cool boiled. So it must be boiled first and then cooled before given to baby. After 6 months, after 6 months old, babies can just have water straight out of the tap, unless you have a private water supply, but generally. There. So thinking about when we are weaning, thinking about our milk as well. So continue to breastfeed responsively throughout weaning, okay? And you can carry on breastfeeding for as long as you both want to. So there's no set in stone about when you should stop breastfeeding. It's all about what's right for you and what's right for your baby. So continue to responsively breastfeed throughout weaning and carry on for as long as you and your baby want to. First stage formula is recommended for your baby until they're 1 year old, okay? And at 1, they can go on to whole cow's milk, full fat cow's milk, blue top milk. There's absolutely no need for any follow-on milks, any stage 2 milks. There's absolutely no need for these. You can just stay on, we recommend you stay on stage 1, so just the first stage formula until a year, and then you go on to your cow's milk from there. If you do want to think about changing your baby's formula, please speak to your health visitor just to make sure that it is what's right for your baby, and also just to make you aware of the changes that may occur when you change baby's formula. One thing that we do need to look out for with formula fed babies is if your baby starts to take less than 500 ml of formula in a day, then they will need a vitamin supplement. Breastfed babies, we don't need to know how much they're taking. They should be having a multivitamin every day anyway. But if your baby starts to take less than 500 ml of formula, then we need to get a vitamin supplement. And the health visitors have these. It's just a little bottle, it's little drops that you can just mix in with a wee drop of water to get them to take them. But from 6 months old, it's important that you know that baby can have cow's milk products. So they can have cheese, they can have yogurts, they can have butter, and cow's milk and the products of cow's milk can be used in cooking and baking. So you can be making cheese sauce and pancakes and all those kind of things that would have cow's milk or cow's milk products in them. Is absolutely fine from 6 months. We're just saying no cow's milk just on its own to drink before a year. So let's get started. Let's get started with our weaning. So what will we need? So definitely a bib and some clean bowls, plates, those kind of things. A soft spoon for baby, and baby can also feed themselves with finger foods. So choose to start weaning at a time of day when you and your baby are most relaxed. So there's absolutely no set in stone way of how to start weaning, whether it's with breakfast, lunch or tea. It kind of just depends on what's best for you and best for your family. So just choose a time of day that's most relaxed for you and your baby, so you and your baby can both enjoy the time. Be prepared for mess, absolutely. This is a fun time for baby and for you, so it's really important that you just relax about it, enjoy it and have fun with it. Baby is going to make a mess. They're going to be exploring those new foods that you give them, and it's a really fun time, but be prepared for the mess. Also from 6 months old, we do recommend that you introduce a free flow cup, and they can contain, from 6 months, it can be tap water. Before 6 months, it needs to be cool boiled water at meal times. And this is just kind of getting them into future habits that, you know, you have a drink with your meal. And the free flow cup is really good. You do get one of those from your health visitor. Around about 4 months, your health visitor will do a home visit with you guys, and you will receive a weaning pack from us. And in that weaning pack is some leaflets about weaning, a free flow cup, and you also get a toothbrush and toothpaste from us as well. So when we start, the aim is to simply just introduce your baby to new tastes, smells, textures and temperature. So baby's normal milk is still the main source of their nutrition, especially at the start. So we need to think of it as, especially at the start, it is more about having fun with it than it is about actually nourishing your child, and providing your child with that nourishment for energy. So at the start, it really is just about exploring with our babies, exploring different textures, tastes, smells, and also a different temperature. Generally, baby's milk, when they receive it, is going to be roughly the same temperature, whether that's breast milk or whether it's kind of formula milk. Generally, you'll be given it at the same temperature all the time. So they'll be these different temperatures, things being quite cold, coming out of the fridge, these kind of things will be different for baby to experience. And because of it being different, some babies may spit food out or turn their head away. All babies are different, and some will take to new foods quicker than other ones. So some babies will just be absolutely loving it, really enjoying the exploding stage, and then the next baby is going to be like, oh, really not sure about this, and they're just going to need you to be patient and try them lots of times. With different things. So just start with a few teaspoons of food once a day, and then we can progress from there on to 2 and 3 times a day, and increase kind of like maybe up to kind of 6 teaspoons or a few tablespoons for the amount. And it's really important that we go at baby's pace. Okay, so there's no kind of hard fast rule about how we progress with weaning. It's really just about going at your baby's pace. And if baby is loving it, then you might just progress a little bit faster than a baby who is a little bit more cautious and just not quite sure about it. It's also important to know that it can take 20 or more tries at different sittings of tasting a particular food before we know if we like it. And we know that our taste buds change with age as well. So it's important to not exclude anything from your baby's diet just because you're not quite sure if they like it. It's important to give them that opportunity to try these things again and again and again. So it's also really important to establish a routine at the start of weaning, just to help baby understand what is going on and what is expected of them. Children learn their table manners from us, so we need to make sure that we are setting a good example. So we do recommend that you sit together socially as a family at meal times, and baby is included in this whether baby is having food at this time or not. It is a good idea to turn off the TV and any electronics as well at the time of meal times, because these are distractions, and they can cause us to overeat, and they also prevent positive social interactions with our family if we're watching the TV or electronic devices and things like this. So it's really important that that you kind of instill these table manners and things to your baby from the start. So thinking about what we're going to give our baby. So from 6 months old, babies can have food from all the food groups. and baby can be having mostly maybe what the rest of the family is having. So generally home cooked family meals are fab for babies. They're absolutely fine. Although it is really important that we're mindful that added salt should be avoided. Okay, so when we're doing our home cooking, no salt should be added to food during cooking or serving for baby. So families are encouraged to adopt a salt on the plate approach. Okay, so what we're saying is cook everything without adding salt to any of the pans or anything like that, and then you can add your salt on the plate to the person's taste buds. This just makes it so much easier for you guys. It means that you just cook one family meal, and kind of the adults can add the salt that they require on their own plate. Finger foods can be given to your baby from 6 months as well, and this is really great for developing hand-eye coordination and also independent skills. And it's also a great way for baby to be involved. If baby is not having a meal at the same meal time as the rest of the family, it's a great way for them to still be involved. So they can still be sitting at the table with you guys. They're maybe not eating, but they can have kind of some finger foods on their plate that they can kind of have play around with. Excuse me. They can have a play around with and a taste and things like that when the family is having their family meal. Don't be afraid to use herbs and spices in your cooking as well. That's absolutely fine. It's just salt and sugar that we need to avoid. So you can be adding in your cumin and your herbs and spices and garlic and these kind of things. Absolutely, but do remember to maybe keep it on the mild side. Maybe not giving baby hot curries. But yeah, don't be afraid to use herbs and spices in your cooking. Ready meals and processed food should be avoided as much as possible, because these are high in salt and in sugar. Healthy balanced family meals are best for baby and cheaper for the family in general as well. Even some of the ready meals that are kind of like organic and only contain whole foods. So there's one that I know that's like a chicken casserole, and in it is just lots of fruit and vegetables and a little bit of chicken and rice, I think, as well. Chicken and rice casserole, I think it is. But in it's got apricots with it. Now if I was making a chicken casserole at home, I certainly wouldn't be putting apricots in it, but it's in that packet. So although everything in that packet is good and it's whole foods and there's nothing, no nasties added, it's adding in apricots, which is a natural source of sugar, so it's adding sugar into that meal that doesn't necessarily need to be there. And that's a marketing thing. That's to make it taste sweet for baby, so baby likes it and so you buy it more. So ready meals and things, avoided where possible. Definitely healthy balanced family meals are best for baby and for the family. So with weaning, we also need to just watch out for baby's fullness cues. So we are all born with an internal switch that tells us when we are full. However, over time, if this switch is ignored, it can be turned off, and then it can lead to general overeating. So baby might do things like turning away from the spoon or pulling away from you, or beginning to spit food back out after they've been eating it quite nicely. These are all signs that baby's getting a bit full, and they're maybe not quite so hungry. Also, if they begin to be easily distracted from their meal, so if they've kind of sat down at their meal and they've started eating, they've been doing really good, and then all of a sudden they start to just become very easily distracted, then that's another fullness cue. And you'll know that from whether baby's breastfeeding or bottle feeding. When they first get that the bottle or the boob, they're quite intent and they're very focused on the feed, but towards the end of the feed they start to be easily distracted and they start kind of turning their head away to look at things, which indicates that they're not so hungry anymore, that they're getting full. So moving on, so we do need to progress weaning at baby's pace. So I have said that previously. There's no right or wrong way in progressing, as long as your baby is ready and happy. So just gradually move from mashed foods to lumpier foods to finely chopped foods to more whole foods. So again, like I'm saying, this process between kind of the mash to the lumpier and things like that, that is absolutely at your baby's pace. And if you're not sure if baby's ready for the next stage, for the lumpier things, you can always try them, and then if they don't like it, then you just take it back and you mash it down again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with trying them and then going back a step if they're not too happy with it. Also gradually increasing the amount of food given from a few teaspoons to a few tablespoons, and from once a day to two times to 3 times a day. It's important to keep an eye on portion sizes. So a portion is what baby can fit in the palm of their hand, or the size of their hand in a fist. So their hand in a fist like this is kind of the general size of their stomach, okay, or what they can hold in their palm. I always think a fist is an easier kind of one to visualize than what they can hold in the palm of their hand. This is babies, okay, so baby's hand is the size of baby's stomach, okay, so that's what we need to think when we're thinking about how much food to give our baby at meal times. That's what we need to keep in our minds, keep an eye on those portion sizes. By the age of 1, baby should be on 3 meals a day with 2 snacks in between, and the snacks may still be milk up until a year. When we are thinking about finger foods, it's important to cut small food, so things like the size of like grapes or cherry tomatoes, cut them into quarters, and that's just to prevent choking for our children. And baby can have milk, breast or formula, or water to drink. There's absolutely no need for anything else for baby to have to drink. So there's no need for squash, baby juice, tea, coffee, sugary drinks, fizzy drinks, anything like this. Baby doesn't need, just water or milk is fine. And absolutely only milk or water should be given in a bottle. Never ever put anything else in a bottle, just milk or water. And keep sugary treats to a minimum, if at all. And so lastly, I just want to have a little look at looking after baby's teeth. So ensure that your baby is registered with a dentist. So this can be done from birth. And as soon as baby's first tooth appears, we need to start brushing our teeth and gums twice a day. Use a toothpaste containing at least 1,450 parts per million of fluoride. So this will be written on the tube of toothpaste or on the box, and it's ppm, parts per million of fluoride. So we want to be hitting this 1,450 ppm, and that's just making sure that our baby and our children are getting enough fluoride into their mouth to keep their teeth healthy. And so Child Smile is a national programme, so it's designed to improve oral health in children in Scotland and to reduce the inequalities both in dental health and access to services. So if you are having trouble getting registered at a dentist, then please give us a shout or just log on to the Child Smile website. We can either refer you to Child Smile and they can help you find a local dentist that can put you on their register. Or just get in contact with them directly, that's absolutely fine. And also on their website you'll find some fab stuff and information about toothbrushing and about weaning foods and about the best drinks as well for babies' healthy teeth there as well. So that's just kind of a whiz through weaning. Weaning 101 for you and your baby, but please contact your health visitor, your local health visiting team if you do have any more questions. You will have your weaning visit from your health visitor, which is roughly around 4 months old, and you will receive your weaning pack there. But please do get in contact with us if you have any questions. Thank you.